Plates ready? This is Food School, Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Want to feel amazing, love the way you look in the mirror, and perform your absolute best in the gym, at work, and in life? You're definitely in the right place. Food. It's you. It builds every single cell of you. And if there is one thing every human being must master, it's food. Because at the very least, eating, you do it every day, several times a day, every single day. You might as well get good at it. I'm your host, Shurina from Create Yourself That Today, your personal nutritionist and plate watcher, your diet guide and explorer, your fat loss coach and food inspector. And just someone with a lot of passion and obsession and curiosity for healthy food, healthy diets, nutrition, optimized human performance, everything and absolutely anything you put in your grocery shopping cart, your fridge, on your plate, and in your mouth. It's my business. Food School, on a mission to help you eat better daily.
It's the last time I talk about food. It's the last time I talk about food.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Today we are talking about cravings, something that came up recently in one of my coaching sessions that, by the way, you can for a limited time subscribe completely for free, where we're gonna talk about a couple of most important topics for you to reach your goals: health, fitness, more energy, more better performance, mental and physical, more muscle mass, less fat mass, and anything and everything in between. Maybe you need some advice on supplements, or have a particular specific problem or issue that you would like to address through lifestyle and nutrition. Then this coaching session that I offer for a limited time, completely free, is here for you to help you to do just that. And you can find the link to schedule this coaching session in the show notes. That being said, as I mentioned, this topic, cravings, came up in one of the coaching sessions, and so the girl is having particular cravings for things made of flour, for pastries, bakery stuff, and not like, have one and you're done. But a lot of times those cravings end up for all of us. I used to have them all the time too, before I kind of figured out what was happening and addressed it. And those cravings usually are intense, and we can't stop them until we're satisfied. And a lot of times what would happen, we get beyond the point of satisfaction, and we eat too much, we feel bloated, we feel sick maybe, and how to address that, how to not have those cravings. I'm not going to be talking about how to fight them. That's not the solution, because you have willpower for many things in your life. And if you are constantly spending it on fighting urges that might be actually important for your body to address, then, well, first of all, you're not going to have much willpower left for anything else. And second, your willpower is not unlimited, and you're gonna give up to those cravings sooner or later, because your brain is a smart beast. It's gonna make you do the things that your body thinks are vital and important. And in the case of cravings, guys, it's very important for you to understand that most of the cravings you have, especially for foods that you know are not beneficial to you 100%, like, for example, processed grains with a lot of sugar, with a lot of low quality fats, that influence your metabolism and your health, not in a positive way. So a lot of cravings for those things happen because your body is deficient in some micronutrient, usually, meaning your body has the need for certain minerals, vitamins that you're not getting through your diet. And cravings is your body's best attempt to tell you, okay, I'm in need of something. Something is important is happening right now that you are not addressing. And until that is addressed, until you solve that, your body will keep giving you those cravings. Keep in mind that your body is not really that precise machine or mechanism, especially in our food environment when there are so many flavorings and so many additives, so your body doesn't really know where to get the things that it needs. It doesn't know how to send you the signal properly. So when you crave something, it doesn't necessarily mean, in a lot of cases, it doesn't mean that you need that particular thing. So if you have cravings for chocolate, it doesn't mean that there is something that you need in that chocolate. You might be craving magnesium, but the only form of magnesium, even if it's a poor and not that of a rich source, it's just the only source that your body needs. And so that's why you might be craving, chocolate, and you might not need the sugar or everything else in that chocolate, but the magnesium. But because it's so important for your body, you're gonna crave that, even though there are negative consequences too. The same goes for this particular case, craving for pastries, for bread, maybe for grains. Maybe there are some nutrients that your body knows that they're there, and even if the rest of will negatively affect your health and your energy levels and your longevity, your metabolism, at least your body will get the fix for that nutrient that it might be missing. And again, it's not that precise. Like you might have an opportunity to get the same nutrients from other foods, but because your brain, your body are not aware of all the foods that there are, it doesn't send you the signal for the healthiest, best choices that might be available out there. But cravings, intense cravings that you have consistently, in most cases, more than 90% of the cases, there's the signal that you biochemically need something that you are not getting. And so the cravings is the way of your body to tell you, like, I need something. I used to have, cravings, a lot of cravings for sweet stuff, for fatty stuff, for a lot of stuff, for dairy products, because I was not giving my body what it needed. Now I almost never have any cravings for anything, because I'm addressing all these deficiencies before they happen. And if I start for some reason, I don't even remember when the last time it was that I had an intense craving and I gave into that, because I'm addressing those possibly occurring cravings before they happen. So for example, I know that I feel really cold and hungry when I'm not getting iodine, and iodine is very important for our thyroid, and our thyroid is in charge of a lot of things, but it regulates our metabolism and specifically body temperature. So when I'm getting cold and super hungry, I know I'm deficient, I'm not getting my iodine. So these days, I'm not waiting to get cold and hungry. What I do is I include a little bit of wakame seaweed in my meals. Usually I add it to my salads. I get it dried and then I soak, and you need just less than a tablespoon of it in dried form. And then I put it in my salad, and so I actually like the taste. Some people don't like it, but when you put in something, you don't really notice the taste at all. So now I don't have this problem being super hungry or cold, because I include iodine in my daily meals on a regular basis, almost every single day. The next thing is I used to have cravings for dairy products, for anything dairy really. Whenever I see dairy products, even though I retain water and my gut doesn't work that well, and I have, my skin breaks down with like different stuff on it, even though I would have those negative effects, and plus my energy would go down and my sleep quality will go down. even though I knew I would have those consequences, the cravings would get so intense that I would give in. And that's because calcium is very important. It is involved in muscles contraction, and your heart, by the way, is a muscle too. So when you're not getting enough calcium, your body has problems working your heart that pumps blood and oxygen and nutrients through your whole body. So when you are missing calcium, it's a bad thing, and your body actually will not allow you to miss the calcium that it needs. It will take it out of your bones, out of your teeth, but it will still get it to perform that vital function, but it also needs for many other functions in your body. And so now I make sure that I'm either drinking this great mineral water that I found that satisfies my daily need for calcium. Also, fatty fish has a lot of calcium, so I'm eating that and my mineral waters. And if for some reason I know I'm not going to be eating optimally to get that calcium, then I'm taking a supplement with my food. But I prefer to get, and I also recommend to everyone to get most of your essential vitamins and minerals from foods, because that's the way they are absorbed and digested and used the best. Supplements do not work that well as whole foods do, but it might be, a good safety policy in case for cases when you're not getting anything. And so now that I'm getting calcium, I don't ever have the craving for dairy products. Like, they disappeared completely because my body is getting what it needs. The next thing is zinc. The zinc is very important for your immune system to function, also to replicate your DNA every time your cell is divided and replicated, and also to create different kinds of proteins. And almost every reaction in your body needs some sort of protein. So if you're not getting zinc, it's a bad news. Like, a lot of things will not work in your body. For me personally, I would just, crave something when I would not get zinc. I also would get sick more often, and getting sick and getting low on energy, that would probably be the sign for me that I need zinc, and then my hunger would increase. So these days I'm getting my zinc, again, some of it I can find in fatty fish. So I eat seafood that also is rich in zinc. Also, I make sure to have it in my multivitamin. So basically I'm trying to do my best job to make sure I consume enough zinc, so everything runs smoothly and I don't have any cravings. The same goes for a lot of minerals, and so now I just don't have cravings. And when I get to a point where I feel like, I'm starting to feel kind of like weird, and I might have cravings, or I'm getting hungrier than I usually am. And so that's another sign for me to start looking at my nutrition and what I might not be getting. Back to our case, cravings for pastries, for sweet stuff, they happen not because you need some sweet stuff. A lot of cravings for sweet stuff, also for foods higher in carbohydrates and processed carbohydrates in any form. And other foods, some people crave salty stuff. Those cravings, they happen, specifically sweet cravings. So let's talk about sweet cravings. A lot of times they would happen because your body doesn't know how to properly balance your blood sugar, and, for example, not getting enough chromium, that mineral that can improve insulin sensitivity and enhance protein, carbohydrate, and lipid metabolism. So you don't need a lot of chromium, for example, but if you're not getting enough of it, then you're going to develop cravings for all these different foods that your body might use to change your blood sugar levels, and those cravings are usually intense. And an interesting thing for you guys, as I've mentioned, chromium, you need a small amount of it, and good sources include broccoli, liver, brewers, yeast. Good sources mean sources that provide adequate amount in small amount of food. And so some of you might not be getting any of those foods. The more you restrict your diet, guys, for example, some people, like myself, we do not eat grains. Some people do not eat dairy products. Some people do not eat meat and any animal products, right? Some people are vegetarians. Some people are vegans. So the point is, the more you restrict your food supply, the less the less there is variety, and the less there are sources where your body can get a variety of nutrients. And that's why when you start limiting stuff, but you don't pay attention to the micronutrient composition of your foods, you develop a lot of cravings because you start not getting a lot of stuff. And so in this particular case, for example, when we talked, I realized that the girl, she was not getting a lot of minerals, and chromium was also there, and also iron, and also magnesium and calcium. And so you might imagine that in that case, the body might develop really, intense cravings in order to bring your attention to the fact that your body is not getting something. And so we talked through different foods and food sources that might address those possible deficiencies. And then we will experiment with this. And in a couple of weeks, we'll see how she did with her cravings. The point is, again, guys, like for example, with the case of chromium and sweet cravings, if you're not getting chromium, there is a good chance you might be developing cravings for sweets or a lot of other intense cravings. And, I eat liver almost every single day in smaller amounts, sometimes in bigger amounts, and I'm probably getting more chromium than you'll ever need. But that's why I completely lost my sweet tooth. Like, I used to think that I love sweets and I could not live without sweets. Like, I could not stop eating sweets. Now, because probably I'm getting more than enough of those minerals, I just don't have any desire for sweets. Like, literally, on my birthday, I ate this birthday cake and it did nothing for me. Like, literally, I ate this cake and it felt like it was a waste of calories. And then on the same day, I ate chicken liver and I felt so good. Like, this was the best thing on entire earth. That how good, physically good it felt in my body and how much satisfaction I got. And so cravings, guys, the reason for your cravings is not because you have a lack of willpower. Not at all. It's because something is missing. In most cases, that's the reason for majority of cravings. And because in our society, 80-90% of people are deficient in key nutrients, that's why people are constantly eating and craving all the time, because there are these deficiencies that are persistent and consistent, and that's why people are eating and their body is trying to find those nutrients but not finding them, and that's why people are continuing to be hungry. Once you address those deficiencies and you give your body what it needs, there is a huge chance that you'll never have any cravings again, and you'll be able to control your hunger perfectly. You won't even have that much of a hunger in the first place. So the takeaway, look, I'm gonna post a link in the show notes where you can see the nutrients that your body needs based on our science that we have right now, and especially pay attention to fat-soluble vitamins A, D, K2, not K1, but K2. That's why I said it several times. So A, D, K2, E, and then all the minerals. A lot of people are deficient in some of these minerals, if not in all of them. Iron, zinc, calcium, magnesium, potassium, iodine. So iron, iodine, zinc, potassium, magnesium, calcium. Look at those to begin with, and the chances are you're not getting as much as you need. And this is a huge thing, guys. It's not just about the cravings. That's just the beginning. It really, literally cuts years of your productive and healthy life. And no, I'm not saying you're going to die tomorrow or even in a year from now. You might live very well into your 50s and then develop 10 degenerative diseases and not able to live to your full potential last years of your life and be dependable on other people. That's what happens to most people. No, people don't die. People just get sick. The best scenario, and that's how it should happen for most alive organism, and that's how it happens to most of the organisms who live more or less natural lifestyle. The best scenario is when you live a healthy life and then you die. And there is no 10 or 20 years when you're not capable of thinking clearly, of working on doing the work and the things that you got to do living your life, that you need somebody else support and assistance in order to live your life. Like, this is the worst thing that can happen to anyone. And I definitely do not wish that to happen to everyone. That's why I'd like you to address those deficiencies right now while you still have time. Because those deficiencies, if not addressed, they will deteriorate your health year after year after year. And the older you're going to get, the worse your life going to get. And that's what you see in the modern world. So look around. People, these days, even people in their 30s and 40s start developing all these diseases, barely getting out of their bed, barely having any energy for anything, but being on your sofa watching Netflix. And people need doctors, people take medications starting so early in life. People, even kids develop diseases. That is not a good indication of our society's ability to support our long-term health and even short-term health. And somebody asked me also today, like, you don't think... I write a lot about how I want to create the world where food equals health. And a person asked me, you don't think that we have this world already? I'm like, hell no. 80 to 90% are deficient. People are dying for degenerative diseases. People are developing cancers and Alzheimer's and dementia and heart disease early in life. And most of it, guys, it's lifestyle too, but every cell of your body is made of the food you eat. So guess what? If you're not putting what your body needs inside of you through food, then all of your cells will be like a broken mechanism. And you're going to get diseases. And food is a huge reason of it. And I do not believe we have this world even close to it. Anyway, cravings. So check out the link below. Also schedule that session that we talked about. I will actually help you to pinpoint those most vital deficiencies that you might need to address to get rid of cravings, but also to improve your long-term health and energy levels. So schedule that session. It's free, it's complimentary for probably a couple of more days because I also have a limited amount of time that I can actually do that for you. But use it right now. Use the link in the show notes. Also check out the link in the show notes that will lead you to your requirements for vital for life nutrients, and check out especially fat soluble vitamins that I mentioned and the minerals that I mentioned also earlier. And another quick lesson. Another big reason for cravings, especially for women, for females, as we tend to limit our calories much more often than guys. So if you chronically limit your calories and not giving your body the energy it needs, that is bad news. And that's why you need to eat more calories and sometimes overeat if your body needs to. But on healthy foods that provide a lot of nutrition at the same time. So I personally, whenever I start feeling like I'm getting a little bit hungrier, antsy, and just not kind of comfortable in my own body, and I feel like I might not be eating enough simply energy and nutrients, then I schedule a day when I eat a lot of healthy foods, sometimes 3, sometimes 4,000 calories. It usually happens like once in 7 to 10 days that I schedule that, and I eat a lot of healthy foods, and then my hunger for anything again completely disappears. That's another strategy I recommend you to use if you're someone who does not eat enough naturally or tries to limit your calories all the time. That is just not a good strategy. And you might develop cravings as well because of that, because of that chronic calorie restriction. So that's it for today, guys. I'm not going to hold you any longer. Hopefully you learned a lot and you're going to use that session that we talked about to schedule your coaching session to figure out where you can be missing nutrients, the reason of your cravings. So use that. And as usual, guys, thank you for listening, and till next time, eat better daily.